Hey everyone, it's Victoria, and today I'd like to talk about a sensitive subject to most parents. I want to talk about how you can get criticized in a flash. I mean, people would criticize you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. It could even be from a spouse. It could be from a parent. It could be from an in-law. It could be from a friend. It could be from anybody that doesn't agree with what you're doing. Now, do they really have a right? Sure, everybody has a right to their opinion, but the parent is going to make mistakes along the way, whether people like it or not. It doesn't matter whether the child likes it or not. Maybe those mistakes are good and helpful for the children. Not saying that they're intentional, but maybe that's what's supposed to happen. Maybe the natural design is to keep doing trial and error, and the child learns a lot more from it. Maybe that's the design. And for outside people to come in and get involved in why and what they're doing for parenting, let me give you an example. I decided to homeschool two of my teenagers, and to me, they've done their social and they've gone through going to different types of schools and different types of states and changing over the years and learning to make new friends. To me, that's really a very valuable lesson, and you can't really learn that in a classroom, but you could learn that by moving. I also think that a good parent knows each child is not cookie cutter, and you know that each child has a different need. One child is not doing really well with the homeschool, and so now I'm thinking of putting her back in school. Another child is really liking it and learning a lot more and wasn't motivated in school. Very bright, but not motivated in school to really impress a teacher. Maybe schools are designed where a teacher is the boss and the student is the employee and will never really be able to hone in on skills of becoming an entrepreneur or a boss. I don't know. This is just a theory I have. I could be wrong. In some ways it's good. Some people like to work. They like being a worker bee. They like to work for someone else and not own something and not have responsibility and take it home. And it's not easy owning a company. But some people are made to own companies because they just feel better about having more control of their hours or their freedom or whatever it is that they want. Maybe it's their goal to become really rich. Some people don't really care to be really rich. They would like it. It would be great if they won the lottery, and those people are, playing the lottery, but maybe they don't want to work for it the same way an owner does. So you see, there's all different kinds of people in the world, and to know your children, it's a really valuable thing for your child and for yourself. It's very valuable to know that each child is different, and if they're going to all be cut in the same way, you're going to just raise all the kids with different personalities in the same way. I don't think that's really fair. I wish I was given different opportunities than my siblings. I'm one of 5, and honestly, I'm nothing like them. My sister is more, driven as an organizer and somebody that needs to be in control. I'm more of a free spirit. I don't take direction as well as she did, and the way she gives it. I am more of a free thinker, and I like to change my mind. Another thing is living in the moment, and all these people that say live in the moment. Well, just now, 2 seconds ago, all my cells just changed. So who's really thinking about the moment right now? I mean, yeah, you could think about being in the moment, but honestly, there is no such thing as being in the moment. Everything's constantly evolving, constantly changing. We are constantly changing. We could change our thoughts in an instant. We have a right to change our thoughts. We have a right to change our minds. And what about those people that literally can't agree to disagree? They seriously get angry with you if you have an opinion that's different than theirs. Now, like I said, I might not be the same person even, forget 10 minutes ago, 10 years ago. I am completely different in the way I think about certain things. I have a total different mindset. I could have thought of an issue and thought of it definite, and then 10 years later, absolutely can't believe I used to think that way. And I'm not going to give you a specific subject because A, it could be a sensitive subject that some people really can't handle, and B, I'm not going to get into it that way. I'm just giving you an example of what could happen with people over the years, over the minutes. You could have a whole situation traumatize you and then never ever want to do it again. I have an example. My brother wanted to be a doctor and saw my father literally go through death, literally saw him die in a hospital, and then he did not want to be a doctor anymore. I mean, that could change in an instant. Whatever it is, you could shift your way of thinking and the way you were even brought up if you were lucky enough. If you were brought up in a bad way, you could actually shift and do the opposite. Some people are lucky enough to get that gift, or if you were brought up in a good way, Vice versa could happen. You can be a good cop gone bad. You can get corrupted in a minute. You can get corrupted, no problem. And a lot of people do. So my point is, and I have a few different points in this, a parent is always going to make a mistake. The child can blame them for the rest of their lives. That's fine. The parent just had a kid. That's all they did. Now, if they love their child, they would really, really hone in and think about what the child needs rather than what the parent wants. Okay? The dream of the child is different from the dream of the parent. Now, there are certain things that you need to give your kids whether they like it or not. You know, there's certain things that they're going to have to do that they don't want to do. And that's something that, you know, for protective reasons, for safety reasons, as long as you're not harming your child, you are a good parent right off the bat. As long as you're not physically or mentally harming that child, you are a good parent right off the bat. Now, you can do things that your parents may have taught you and then you're teaching your children, even though it doesn't make sense to you, but you're hardwired and you're going to do the same things that they taught you. But honestly, if you can shift yourself as a daughter or a son and really hone in on your parenting skills differently than what your parents taught you, if you can actually do that and you can transform the way you think and take apart the hard wiring that was so conditioning as a child and you don't even know why these things took place. I mean, you could really be confused as why you're following certain traditions every single year of your life. You don't know why you're doing it. Find out why. And if it makes sense to you, continue doing it. If it doesn't make sense to you, if you really think about certain things and they don't make sense to you, don't continue it. And if your child is different from you, then really focus on that and find out what your child is like and look that up. You can look up anything these days. Look it up. Find out what your child is like and find out what they need. Talk to your child. Ask them. They have opinions. You know, a child at 2 years old has an opinion, whether he likes chocolate or vanilla ice cream. So they have opinions. Children that are physically and mentally challenged have opinions. I mean, everybody has an opinion. Ask your child. Don't be afraid to ask them. Not saying that you have to do it right away, but know that at 18 years old, they're probably going to do it anyway. So you might as well just join in on it and find out what your child needs and what they want and help them get better at it. Help them get better at what they need or what they want. Maybe what they want is really truly their authentic self. Maybe it's really something that they were supposed to do in their life, whether you like it or not. Of course, I'm not talking about anything that's harmful. Talking about only things that are, you know, maybe a skill or something like that. You don't like that your child is going to do something that you never wanted them to do, like become an actress or, you know, do something that you think is going to be a waste of time. Let them make that mistake. Seriously, it's their life. As a parent, I really believe that you have to let them make certain mistakes. You have to give them their independence. You can't be a smother. The more you smother, the more that they will either resent it or try to do things that are completely against what you want. Now, I'm not saying what I want for my child is best, but I am saying that knowing that type of personality that my child has, I know what they need. And they may not see it right away, but you can tell them over the years, and sometimes they actually get it. They're like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for not letting me do that. But do it in a way where you're just not like this arrogant bitch about it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be so bitchy. Yeah, there's going to be fighting, and there's going to be kids that are just going to, you know, disobey. And of course you're going to have a teenager with hormones and stuff. But just know that you are there, and you are a force. You're a strong force, and they still need you. They still need you. No matter what age they are, they still want their mom and dad. And they're still looking for your approval. But give them your approval before they even ask for it. In other words, they shouldn't even have to ask. If you're a good parent and you're honed in on your kid, they don't even need to ask. But I'll tell you this, sometimes when you want to know too much about your kid and you're asking them all the time, they're not going to tell you those things that they really should tell you. If you kind of ignore half the stuff they want to tell you, they want to tell you. My kids want to tell me stuff, and sometimes I don't even want to hear it, especially if they're fighting against each other and they're fighting amongst each other. And, I don't want to hear the details. In other words, I don't want to know until I see some serious problems. Like, if those details are just going to be like, oh, he hit me and she hit me back and he said this and she said that, I don't want to know. I want to know the overall picture and what we could do to solve the problem. That's what I want to know as a parent. That's what I want to know as a standby, as a person, not just as a parent. So somebody who's standing by. If they need a referee, I just want to be a referee when it's really the right time and not for little details. Those little details are just going to get the kid crazier. They're not venting in a good way. They have to learn, and this is what I think, they have to learn how to tell you the overall picture instead of all the little nuances and details, because a parent gets exhausted from hearing all the details. I can tell you right off the bat, I get exhausted hearing every single detail. I can't possibly take in all of that information and live my life. I can't do it. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. So I'm teaching my kids how to wrap it up in a gift and give it to me. And I will open up the gift and see what I can do to help solve the problem. You get it? You understand any of this? I'm trying to tell parents out there to, if you want some bullet points, to not smother your kid, to know each child is different, to make them feel independent and give them what they need. Each child needs something else. Each child needs something else. And living in the moment and not planning ahead, you could do that, but I mean, to me personally, visualizing things and vision boards are actually more productive, and looking forward to something and having a goal is more productive than actually just living in the moment. Yes, I can enjoy the moment that I'm in, but just living in the moment and being, completely unaware of the future and trying to plan ahead is actually a little bit too, it's a little bit too liberal for me. I can't do that. It's not that I can't do it, I don't want to do it. I can do it, I don't want to do it. I prefer to look forward to something and have some sort of little plans and little goals and be able to make certain designs so that things look better from afar. Then we can make a map and look at the map and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Of course, living in the moment is fun, but it's not everything. Just like I said, we're changing at all times. We have a right to change our minds. Does it make us hypocritical? Absolutely not. And if it does, so be it. It makes me hypocritical to change my mind. I could care less. I'm not looking for approval. I'm not looking for a medal from anyone. I'm just doing things the way I'm doing it. And I have experience along the way, and I can learn from it, or I can teach it to people along the way, and maybe someone gets something out of it, maybe they don't, but this is where I'm at. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope this helps any parent out there, or any child out there, to get what you want, or what you need. Take care, everyone. Bye.